Hey Tim, hey everyone else, welcome back to 4Running Shoes and welcome to 2024. Happy New Year everyone. Hope you had a happy and safe New Year and that you're excited about 2024. It's time for me to talk about what I'm hoping to do this year. So let's get into it. But first, Tim, I really appreciated seeing your videos where you talk about the habits that you are, forming and implementing going forward to help your running. I think that's really fantastic, and I'm going to be needing to think about those kinds of things as well, which we'll get into over the next month or so. But what am I hoping to do in 2024? I've had a bit of an off period, a bit of downtime, a bit of a resting season. After my marathon at the end of November, after 2 marathons in 2023, after having 2 training seasons, dealing with a bit of injury, I decided to partly because I needed to rest, and partly because there wasn't a lot of time. Actually, I took December pretty easy. I did run 3 times last week. They were not long and they weren't fast, but it was good to get 3 runs in. And from next week, we'll be getting really stuck into it again. Looking forward to running some good mileage and hopefully some good speeds throughout 2024. But what am I hoping to do? I am not going to run 2 marathons. Last year I ran 2 marathons. I ran one in April and I ran one in November. And for me, that was too much. Having 2 training seasons in a year for me was too much. And so I'd rather focus on having 1 and then having a speed season, because I wanted to have a speed season last year where I am really targeting getting my 5-kilometer speed down. But due to injuring myself during my April marathon, having to take time to recover from that, and then there was no other time really, because I was then, once I booked back up to running reasonable distance, I was back into marathon training. So I missed out on doing a speed training season last year, which I'm a bit disappointed about, but I'm going to make sure that happens this year. So I am looking at potentially running the Mansfield Marathon. This is a marathon in May, which for me, just looking at how my calendar is panning out for the year, looks pretty good. I'm not going to be running up on anything too busy in the months leading up to it compared to this last one where I had a show season, writing reports. It was a very busy time of work. It was hard to train for my November marathon just because of the time. I made it work, but it was difficult. So I think having a slightly easier part of the year to train in will make that easier. It's also cooler weather. I mean, I was blessed, to have some pretty good weather for my marathons last year, but, running in May in Mansfield, it's going to be fairly cool. So looking at being, at or below 10 degrees Celsius for the run, which will be nice, good running conditions, hopefully. So that's what I'm targeting at the moment. So, it's not actually going to be that long between marathons, November to May. So, it's similar actually to April to November, but I think that'll be okay. I'm looking forward to getting into it, and I think it's a good time of year for it. And so after May, I really am very keen to keep the mileage up. I'd like to get through the season without injuring myself, but I want to then get into a speed training season. I've been wanting to work on my speed really for a very long time, a couple of years, and I haven't had a really good season of doing it. 2021 and 2022, I was getting ready for marathons and then injuring myself, having to stop halfway through the season. And 2023, I had 2 marathons and just haven't had a speed season in. So kind of the second half of this year, that's when I'm going to be targeting to get my 5-kilometer time down. I got close to getting my 5K time below 20 minutes, but I haven't actually done it yet. So this is the year that I am going to do that. And I'm giving myself a good amount of time to do that. In terms of mileage for the year, I set 2,000 kilometers last year and I fell quite a bit short of that. I think mostly due to injury during the middle of the year. If I had not injured myself, then I think I probably would have done it. The 3 months where I was really running a lot less. I can run 500 kilometers in 3 months. That's not a huge stretch. But I would like to, I'm actually not really set on a distance goal. I think at least 1,800 kilometers, so 1,800 kilometers. I think that's going to be, it's more than last year, and it's going to mean that I need to be really consistent throughout my weeks, running between 35 and 40 kilometers a week, which is very achievable, but it needs to be consistent. If I'm going to run, the 2,000 kilometers is also doable if I run 40 kilometers a week, which is not huge. It's going to mean that I'm keeping the fitness going and running some good distance throughout the week, which will be good. So my plans for this year are to run a marathon in May, get my 5 kilometer time down in the second half of the year, and we might also throw in a half marathon race towards the end of the year as well. I'm not sure on that yet. See how we go. I'd like to run at least 1,800 kilometers with a stretch goal of 2,000 kilometers. I'm kind of going to start out the year running 35, 40 kilometers a week until I get into marathon training, then that number goes up, which will be starting in kind of February. So I've got January to keep the base fitness going, and I'm looking forward to doing all that. I hope you're looking forward to this year. I'm so grateful that you can join us on this running journey. Please, if you have any goals that you're looking to do, running or otherwise, please feel free to share them down below. It's nice to share goals like that. I know for Tim and I, it's certainly kept us accountable. So if you want to throw them down there, you're very welcome to. Tim, looking forward to hearing about your plans on Thursday. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you